What up, pop, pop, pop? Coach Paul here, ready to go over last week and share some stuff about sleeping and steps. A weight, 233.2, so it's coming back down a little bit from my vacation peak. Actually thought about bulking again because I had a lot of appetite, started eating more for a few days and just wasn't feeling it. So went back to normal eating, which is no starches except for after workouts, and honestly, there's been times I've been hungrier, so I'm basically in a maintenance phase right now. But my maintenance phase is I maintain a slight deficit. I eat more when I'm hungry, but mostly I stick into meats, eggs, fruits, and vegetables. My boring ass lunch and dinner, or breakfast and lunch, and then a little bit more variety and a bigger dinner because I usually work out around 4 or 5 o'clock. Waist has gone down a little bit. Best sleep score ever. So that's fantastic because had a couple little bit down weeks with vacation. Not bad though. That's the thing. 80s. It's still the 80s. Like I used to be more in the 70s, but 86 is the top sleep score I've ever had. So that's always good because I'm trying to do whatever I can to optimize my sleep. So if you look at make sure you're in the right column. So this is last week. Hit 6 of my 7 bedtimes. Only missed Saturday night and only by 15 minutes. No big deal. Hit all my wake up times, hit my cold showers, hit my 12,000 steps, hit my 100,000 steps. It can be challenging. I was a bit behind. I had to hit about 35,000 steps over the weekend. So I hit that. Got one extra workout. Zone 1 got it. Missed my zone 2 because I was going to do a hit session yesterday on Sunday. Just didn't do it. I was going to do mobility as well. Just didn't do it. It's hard. I did a lift instead. So that's why I had 5 lifts. And just how it goes. If you don't front end the stuff you don't like doing, I don't really like doing the high intensity stuff. If you put it off to the end of the week, you're not going to do it. It's just like in the day. If you put off a lift or something that you don't really want to do, thinking you're going to do it in the evening, when that time comes, you don't feel like doing it, you're not going to do it. So it's always better to get the shit you don't want to do done in the first part of the week or part of the day. General advice for everything. Looking to next week, I'm going to keep everything the same, but I'm going to bump my steps up to 110,000 for the week, which, I've kind of been doing 3 weeks in a row. This is actually a down week for me. And I'll show you why. I'll jump to this sheet. So today's date is August 7th. The start date of the year was January 1st. I'm going to set a steps goal of 5 million steps for the year. This is what I've actually done so far this year, if you subtract today's date from the start of the year. So the daily average I'd have to hit 5 million steps a year is 13,699. My average to date for this year is 12,477. So I'm behind. If I continued at this pace, by the end of the year, I'd be at 4.5 million. So since I have walked 2.7 million, I want to hit 5. I've got 2.28 million steps to go this year. I only have 147 days to do it. I need to average 15,500 steps per day for these last 147 days. So a weekly average of 108,576. So there you go. That's why I'm setting my weekly target from now on to 110,000 steps. 12,000 is the minimum. So say I went to work one day this week. I'm in the car 3-4 hours and like traveling long distances or it's hard to get to 12,000 steps, but that's the minimum. And that really builds discipline because there's plenty of times where you don't feel like doing it. You got to walk for an extra 30 minutes after dinner. Just do it. That's discipline. You said you're going to do it, you just fucking do it. And I have like a 150-day step streak going, so that keeps me motivated too. I don't have a streak with mobility or hit sessions, so that's why it's easier to just disregard it. But steps, that is my discipline. That is like non-negotiable. I've walked 10,000 steps 150 days in a row. I'd be closer to 180 days if I hadn't gotten sick. We talked about some of the wins, top sleep score. I always say I'm stronger after a week off of vacation. I tried it. My old record on the hack squat was 500 pounds for 10 reps. I went for 530. I did 2 reps. And I was like, I'm not really feeling it. I felt like I could do a few more, but I wasn't going to get 10. I don't even know if I was going to get 5 or 6. So I just quit at 2. Dropped down to 360, which is usually my comeback set. I usually do it for 20. I did it for 25. My quads were sore for 4 days in a row. It's been a minute since my legs have been that sore. And it felt good. Like If someone had been there pushing me, I could have done 30. You know, you just get to that point where you think you're done and you just keep going and keep going and keep going. And somehow your body responds. And then all of a sudden it gets easier. And you're like, shit, I can do twice as many as I thought. And that's something I've found in the past just 3 years of when you think you're done, especially on a machine, where you can like rest a little bit between reps. When you think you're done, you're halfway there. And if that's me and I train hard, then think about the average person. And when you think you're done, you're not even halfway to true failure. If someone was sitting there with a gun to your head, yelling at you to keep going, keep going, keep going, it just shows your mind tries to stop you to protect you, but it doesn't realize you're in a controlled environment. There's safety things. You're not going to die if your muscle actually fails. And if you're smart about it and you don't ramp up too fast, you're not going to get injured. But it was a good PR, and I was feeling it for 4 days. And then the next time I lifted, I did the same way. I just did 2 sets of 10. Just kind of honestly, to loosen it back up again because it was just so sore for so long. But a big win, hit 100,000 steps 4 weeks in a row, lost most of my post-vacation fluff. I mean, I put on like a few pounds of fat. Oh well, went from 12 pounds of fat to 13 pounds of fat. It's coming back off. Missed my cardio, left it to Sunday, blah, blah, blah. I read all this already. I need to get my mobility in. I like doing it. It's just, I don't want to do it, but I like doing it, and then I'm glad I did it. But it's just funny when what you need to do and like to do and want to do, when they're not in alignment, and that's how most people live. They make decisions based on what they want. A lot of times that doesn't even align with what they really like, and most of the time it certainly doesn't align with what they need. So start making decisions based on what you need, and once you do them long enough, you'll start to like it, and then you'll start to want it, and then it just becomes automatic. And that's how it works for me for fitness. I want to go work out, I like doing it, and I need to do it to stay in good shape and feel good. So I have it made. It's automatic. Sleep was great. Everything else, 2s, 3s. I had that little bit of more soreness. Talked about increasing steps to 110, and I got to get my mobility in. So now I'm talking about weekly steps. Everybody now has this in their sheet. Weekly steps is habits 2, and it should be at least 7 times what your minimum daily steps is. But set that, and now we're going to compete for the Luke SideWalker Award. So you're all going to get ranked. Look, actually, we have a few people that were set up several weeks ago, but they got newer spreadsheets because they joined a little later, or they got upgraded. Everybody now has it. So when you put in your actual steps for the week, it'll show up here, and we get ranked, and you compete weekly for the Luke SideWalker Award. Just know I'm going to be shooting for 110 every week, so if you want to win it and beat me, you got to get at least 110. There's no actual prize for this. It's just bragging rights, but it's great. Walking is just such a great way to stay in a good mood, to stay healthy, just stay not sitting, which is what causes a lot of problems like my sciatica. So anything to do to get more steps in. I hope this encourages you, and you could see how many steps you're getting compared to everybody else. And if that makes you walk more, than good. But that's what all I have for now. I want you guys to fill in your sheets. Make sure you get these done every week. You should honestly do these Sunday night. Look past in the week. What went well? What didn't? Why didn't you hit 100%? And what can you do to hit 100%? And then look forward to this upcoming week. Which days am I too busy to train? Which days am I going to eat out? Do I need to go to the grocery store to get groceries? What am I going to eat for my meals? What am I training? Am I going to go hard this week? Is this a light week? So think about that in advance. Plan out your week. Do what needs to be done. And get a little bit better every week. If you want to get fit and prime, take it 1 week, 1 day, 1 play at a time. Just keep at it. Talk to you guys soon.